What's going on, guys? What's going on? Killer Instinct. You guys know who I'm talking to. For years, I've heard huge constructive criticism to Microsoft and Xbox over bringing back Killer Instinct. I have made a few videos on my own channel begging Xbox to take this fan base seriously. You know, I've always had this stance personally, especially since PlayStation bought Evo, that unless Microsoft has their own head-to-head fighter, it would be hard for them to really, make a good splash in this area. And you can actually have a counterpoint that because Microsoft owns Evo and that's like the biggest fighting conglomerate, then maybe it's not even worth investing into. Well, apparently Microsoft and Xbox heard, a few months back, they actually announced that they were doing some more stuff with Killer Instinct. No one really knew to an extent what it meant. We just knew they were doing new stuff with Killer Instinct. Well, they've actually went back. They've done a lot of work since then, with stuff like 4K. It's interesting that they're going back and they're doing balance updates. They're doing a lot of, similar stuff with the Xbox Series S and X upgrades, which is the 4K upgrades. Killer Instinct, it's being renamed to the Anniversary Edition because it's going to be the 10-year mark for this game. And if you look down, what's interesting is, let's go ahead and come back to this. As shared earlier this year, developer Iron Galaxy is working on a 10th anniversary update for the 2013 Xbox fighting game. This update is coming years after the game's seemingly final patch and will include proper Xbox Series S and X upgrade with a balance pass for extension rosters of fighters. You can watch the stream on the Iron Galaxy channel. To start off things, the designer of Killer Instinct showed off the new color scheme for this season, which meant it's heartbroken back to the days of Killer Instinct being gold. Through a striking purple and gold theme, you can take a better look. So this is the new Killer Instinct logo right here. Killer Instinct Definitive Edition is being replaced by Killer Instinct Anniversary Edition. This brings a preview of changes, with Steam getting a free-to-play version of the game, just like Xbox and Windows 10. The free-to-play version will also now rotate characters weekly instead of bi-weekly. So all that's essentially said. What's interesting is they redid the logo, which I guess you would expect them to redo the logo. Also, they're making changes to the free-to-play. Every other week you would get a new character in the rotation of the free-to-play, and you'd be able to play with that person until he's rotated out. And at that time, if you really like that person, you would just buy him, or you would try the newer character. They're doing it bi-weekly now, and they have launched a Steam app for the game as well. So clearly they see a long-distance thing with this. One thing I've always said is Microsoft has enough characters to effectively have constant guest appearances. They had the Arbiter on here. You can bring Master Chief in. You can bring people from Gears. There is so much potential that Microsoft could do with Killer Instinct. There's no reason why they shouldn't. Put in the comment section below. Out of all the Microsoft IPs, who do you think would gauge the most interest for Killer Instinct? To me, I gotta go with the classic Master Chief, guys. I got to go with the classic Master Chief. That's the person that I think would do the most, because he's the most iconic from the franchise, from really anything Microsoft owns. Now, there's obviously certain things that recently could actually happen with the ABK deal. I'm sure there's some stuff on WoW that they could bring in there. But to me, I'm going to go with Master Chief. I actually feel like with the ABK deal thing going on, maybe they should take Killer Instinct in a brand new direction. Obviously have your original characters for Killer Instinct. I'm sure the Killer Instinct community wants that, but have a lot more guest appearances. Have more people show up, not even just from the Microsoft Vault, EA Vault, Ubisoft Vault. There's no reason you can't really mess around and figure that out. Because, to me, now that you've officially reopened this thing called Killer Instinct and you have your fans excited, really set that sequel up to really be successful. have a couple guest appearances every year. And I know it's not easy to make a character, so I'm not like trying to say don't be original at all. You can obviously not do it every year, but I feel like guest appearances is the best way to get this game more mainstream. And Killer Instinct's always been a mainstream game. It was made by Rare like way back on like the 360 days, I believe. Maybe it was before the 360 days. I'm not really too much a fighter in that thing. It's just what I like is that Microsoft heard people. They went there. They're like, look, we get it. I think the biggest issue is they didn't have anyone to actually work on that game. But now, since Iron Galaxy, I'm pretty sure their name's Iron Galaxy, and now that they're back, they'll actually be able to put a team on this. And especially, not only a team that's worked on this game for a foreseeable amount of time. I think it's good. I really do. I think it's a good move on their part. I think that, you're going to start seeing a lot more from Killer Instinct. I wouldn't be surprised if they're working on a Killer Instinct 2. One thing that's kind of crazy is like, what do they do with Iron Galaxy now? To me, you buy them. You don't let this company walk away again. You give them a number that they cannot say no to, and you take over that company because, Killer Instinct is such a lovable brand to a lot of people, and it's got such a dedicated fan base. You got to make sure that, you secure the future of that game. Not too many platform owners, if any, own fighting games like this. Most of them are third parties. Obviously you got like Super Smash Brothers on the Nintendo Switch, but for the most part, when it comes to these head-to-head fighters, Microsoft can be unique in this. Now, obviously, Street Fighter and Tekken are anonymous with the PlayStation brand. So if you can't really fight them with marketing, then go ahead and take this game and make it one of your pillars. Work with companies like Mortal Kombat and NetherRealm and make a Mortal Kombat versus Killer Instinct where you bring some of their characters in. Imagine the Killer Instinct players not really having, what I'm looking at is like fatalities if you bring Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct, where do you have the Killer Instinct characters do their own fatalities? Or is it just the Mortal Kombat people going to do it? Because I think that would be cool. I think there's so many options that they can do with Killer Instinct, and I'm glad that Xbox is putting money towards that, because there for a while, I think we can all agree, it was looking pretty suspect, man. It was looking pretty suspect. But anyway, put in the comment section below what you guys think. Do you think Killer Instinct's going to be one of those games that sits around for the long term? I do think it is. I think this game's going to be around for the foreseeable future. And I'm happy for the man. I have so many friends that's been waiting for this day where they see more and more stuff going on with this IP. Just because they announced that a couple months ago, people wanted to see actual movement on the brand. And I think now that we're seeing the actual movement, we're seeing these type of live streams explaining updates. I think people are getting more and more hyped that, this is real. But put in the comments below what you guys feel. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. It's always appreciated. If you really like this content, man, I do weekly videos. And I hope you guys have a good day. Peace.